Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Big Board Battles. Today, we have a rematch. Warriors of the Dark Gods versus Orcs and Goblins. And those of you who have tuned in before will notice this army, this Orc and Goblin army, is the same one I faced 2 battle reports ago. And I made a lot of mistakes that game, and the guys getting some reps in for the tournament coming up in Colorado, which hopefully I'll be covering. It depends if I can get faster with the picture taking, because I don't want to take up the tournament. During a tournament, I don't want to take up time with snapping pics and things like that. So we'll see. But regardless, the Orcs and Goblins player is bringing his Cavalry Orcs and Goblins list to the tournament and wanted to get more reps in. And I had switched up some stuff in my list. I have a Sorcerer Lord, Path of Heavens, and a Battle Shrine of Change in there. And I wanted to see how they'd play out and how they'd do. And so I wanted to get some reps in as well. And I wanted to regain my honor. And also, the day I played this game, I played three games total this game. I got a lot of games in. And the first game I played was against this guy. And the next guy I played was another Orcs and Goblins player with an entirely different list. Whereas this one's very cavalry heavy, the one I played next is very infantry heavy. And so in my head, I kind of narrated it that, like, okay, so this is the vanguard of the Orc forces the Warriors of the Dark Gods are going to face. And then we're going to face the infantry list. The core of the army next is again how I played it in my head. Again, I love to play this guy. He's great. He's fun. He's fast, which is appreciated. He knows the rules, and it's an exciting game. A lot of back and forth, and just sit back, relax, and let's see how it goes. Top 1 deployment here. He goes first. He dropped enough to go first. And you see the scrap wagon scuttle spider things there, all facing to the right, from my perspective at least. And his Goblin King closest to the left of the board. Kind of worries me. It's on a scuttle spider, all vanguarding up, scouting up or something. Doing his best to be annoying. I put my chariot there because I figured I'd go up to his flanks and threaten his catapults. But at this time, I'm looking at the spider. I'm like, well, I'll try to charge him next turn if I can. Hopefully I can get that in there. I placed all my valuable targets, or most of my valuable targets, behind the hill. The BSB did not go behind the hill. He had a ward save, and I figured I couldn't fit everything there, and I wanted him around just in case I needed the rerolls on my warriors over there. And so I was like, well, you got to risk a little bit. So that's what we have. He doesn't do too much movement. He does charge with his big spider thing at my Hell Riders here. And I fail my terror check, and I run away. And that's how that goes. He doesn't catch me. Not much else movement-wise. His scrap wagons mostly kind of go towards the right of the board. His Goblin Chief wisely gets around to avoid the charge arc from my chariot, and so I'm not sure what I'm going to do there. Maybe just kind of dare him, face the Goblin Chief, and kind of dare him to charge me. It'll depend on what happens here. And so he rolls some magic. Nothing really happens of note. Then we go into shooting, and his catapults double misfire. First one, misfire. Second one, misfires. One was a direct hit misfire, I believe, and the other was just a regular misfire. Either way, he rolls a 1 and a 2 for both the misfire results, meaning they cannot shoot the rest of the game. I'm not getting the points for them, but those points are now effectively useless, and I I thanked my lucky stars here. I was like, oh my goodness, that could have been bad. And I don't have to worry anymore. So I have that opened up the board a lot. It allowed me to stop hiding behind the hills and kind of do a lot more positioning and be able to control the flow of the game more. And so on my turn, everything kind of goes out of hiding, kind of spreads out a little over there on the right side of the board. Sorry for the stretched picture. It kept wanting to give me this really narrow picture and didn't look good in the screen, but I'm not sure this looks better. Either way, I do rally with my Hell Riders. I move up with almost everything. My Hell Riders on the right side of the board at the top of your screen there. They do charge his spiders over there, and I get my Lord of Lust kind of looking at their flank just in case they need support later. I'm hoping they won't, but we'll see. Yeah, Hell Riders are strength 4 in the charge because of the lances. And so I'm figuring I'll do some wounds, maybe break him. He's away from BSB and general leadership, so I'm not too worried there. My chariot, again, like, it's toughness 5 with 4 wounds, and with 4 strength 5 attacks when not charging. So I'm figuring I'll have at least a chance against his Goblin Chieftain there. I'm really hoping he doesn't charge my Hell Riders and getting into the side of my Warriors, because it just hold things up and really pin my unit in place for his giant spider to get into my Warriors. And I don't want that to happen. That's not what I want. And nothing really happens in Magic. Nothing really happens in shooting. So we go to combat, and it's a victory for my Hell Riders, which just wipe them out, I think. I don't even think I run forward at all. I just wipe out the unit on wounds alone. 5 attacks plus the 5 poison attacks. I get enough wounds. I get lucky. He fails enough saves. And that's how it is. So top of 2 is Scrap Wagon, as you can see, goes for revenge and hits my my Hell Riders. And again, he doesn't have to maximize because it's not a charge. And so he positioned it so he's going to overrun. You can't see it on this picture, unfortunately. But my Harbinger of Lust over there on the side is just kind of, he's going to overrun into it, is what his plan is. And it's a pretty good plan. He does charge my chariot with his Goblin Chief thing. He just kind of, again, does some positioning. And he gets a pretty long charge. I think it was a 9-inch charge into my Warriors. And I'm looking at that, I'm like, not again. Those of you who are familiar with how it went last time, it did not go well for the Warriors of Wrath. So I'm like, well, he got there. We'll see what happens. Yeah, nothing really happens in Magic. And he has no more shooting because his catapults misfired. So we go straight to combat. He wipes the floor with impact hits alone and just runs into my Harbinger of Lust. And I'm worried about that. 2d6 strength 5 impact hits can really, really hurt if he rolls high. I do have a 1-up save on this guy, but still. He only has 3 wounds, and all I need to do is 1 poor roll, and that's it. And over here, it goes very well. I actually win the combat. Well, we draw combat. He charges. I do a wound. And so we kind of stick there. But, hey, 1 down, 2 more to go. I'm feeling pretty good about this combat. He hits me twice, but fails to wound. So, is what is. And over here. He eats a bunch of my Warriors. And I do a wound back. But I stay. So that is good. I stick there, and that is where you see us. And so on my turn, I charge with my EDC in there. And I don't charge with my BSB simply because I'm not sure I want to deal with that Venomous Strike. And my Warriors, I think they could last 1 more turn. It's a risk, but I think they can. And so I position my Manticore Lord to either charge his general or see what happens there. I do charge his Scrap Wagon as well with my what's it called? My battle shrine, and I charge another group of his chaff with my pestilence warriors, and they get in. All is well over there. And just again, it's a positioning with my sorcerer lord, so I can get some shots in. Because again, I don't have to worry about hiding anymore. And I position him right behind the manticore lord, so that it's going to be a hard charge with his wyvern if he tries to catch me out there. And magic goes really well. I get the thunderbolt spell goes off, but he dispels it. So I have my thunderstorm spell. It hits him and does 3 wounds on this guy, and I'm like, yes! And so because it's a lightning attack and he's a flyer, he takes, I think it was D3 strength 4 hits at the end of the phase. It doesn't do nothing, but he's still only 1 wound left, and that is, it's a load off my mind, because that really forces him to think about what he's going to charge, because just one bad roll on his part, 1 wound snuck through, and it's bye-bye Wyvern Lord. And so I'm really happy about that and how the magic phase went. This combat, I actually win. My Wrath Warriors rally and do 4 wounds on this spider guy. It's quite good. I wipe out the chaff with my EDC pretty easily. And yeah, so that's what happens. My warriors are there. His spider's got 3 wounds left. Yeah, I lost some attacks next turn, but you know what? I'm still feeling good about this combat. I'm like, yeah, he's doing well. I win with my Wrath Shrine, or not my Wrath Shrine, my Battle Shrine. I just kill him. Unfortunately, when I chase, I overrun, and I'm on the hill a little bit, and his little Nasher Dasher dudes can see me there. So I'm going to get a flank charge. It's going to be 2d3 impact hits at strength 5. Not exciting, but this guy has a toughness 5, 4 up ward save, 4 up regular save, so he's not a pansy. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, my Pestilence Warriors do what they do, eat the chaff, and I just kind of reposition. And over here, he rolls his 7 on his impact hits, gets 2 through, but again, with my Sword of Strength, I just kill him outright. Between the steed and the guy on top, it's not close. But still, he only has 2 wounds left, and so I'm kind of nervous about charging that guy in anywhere. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Top of 3. We whiff. Both of us miss all our attacks over on the chariot versus the Goblin Chief, and so there they are still. And he's moving up his boar boys there to maybe charge a chariot or try to support his Goblin Chief, who's struggling at this point. But we'll see how that goes. And he just positions a few other things. He does charge with his Nasher Dashers inside of my War Shrine. Expected, but nothing I can do about it. He kind of tries to hide behind the hill with his goblin, or not goblin, but his Orc Chieftain, and his Scrap Wagon just comes up a little bit. And, his Feral Orc, big block with his BSB, they charge the EDC. And again, the EDC, I'm not sure how this is going to go. He's toughness 6, but they're strength 6 on the charge with lances, I think, or maybe strength 7. A lot of strength, and there's going to be a lot of attacks. But I'm going to go first, and I'm going to my plan here is just throw all of his halberd attacks into the EDC has halberd and light armor, is what I brought with him. And I'm going to throw all those attacks into the BSB there, and maybe hopefully get 2 wounds through, but we'll see how that goes. And again, the spider, it's all going to be if he can roll enough poisons to deal with me. And there we are. It's a better picture of that charge there. Okay. And yeah, during combat, unfortunately, his spider just eats my guys. I go first. I don't do any wounds. He did get 2 spells off during his magic phase, which really helped him. Blessing of the Mother Spider and I think it was Oyo no Dying. I could be wrong. Yeah, I think it was Oyo no Dying. And so he has a ward save, a 5-up ward save on that thing. And I just wasn't able to get through between the 5-up armor save, or the 4-up armor save he has, and the 5-up ward save. I just wasn't able to get any wounds through. And he just straight up kills me outright, does enough wounds, and I fail enough saves. So, yeah, sadness. Over here, EDC takes 4 wounds, doesn't do anything to the BSB, and so he runs. But he is caught as he runs away, and he dies. And that's really all that can be said about the EDC. Sad times, but you know what? It happens, you know. And so he got get them off on these Nasher Dashers, but then even with the get them spell off, he does like 3 wounds, I think. But I do enough wounds. I stick. He only has 2. I do 4 wounds. I stick. And there we sit. So on my turn, again, we're still battling out. The Chariot took a wound, and the Goblin Chief took a wound. And so, again, drawn combat. But I have 3 wounds left, and he only has 1. So I'm feeling very good about that. That Spider with all those spells on him, I'm not feeling good about that. Oh, my EDC did not get run down. I apologize. I do rally him. My BSB's there to look, and I do charge with my Manticore into the side there. The Pestilence Warriors move up. My Sorceress Lord moves over so I can get a line of sight for another couple magic missiles at his wounded Orc Lord, and my Harbinger of Lust kind of hides behind the hill from those 10 boar boys over there. And so it's just positioning at this point. I'm hoping to challenge with enough, maybe get lucky with the combat res here, make him lose frenzy, but we'll see. Unfortunately, during combat, or nothing happens really during magic. I unfortunately am not able to kill the general there, and he kills my Chariot. He does 2 wounds to it, so it only has 1 left, but I lose combat by 2 because I can't do any wounds back. I fail the test, and I flee, and he catches me. And it's just how the dice roll, man. Over here goes a lot better. You'll notice what's not there? His Feral Orcs. I'm able to wipe them out. He accepts the challenge with his champion. I do max wounds. And yeah, he has a BSB there, but I do win combat by 1. And it's enough because of my charge and my flank. So I was up by 6, I believe, and he only had 5 combat res static. And so I won by 1. He is steadfast, and he does have his BSB, but he fails his test twice. And I am able to run him down. And I get in contact with the Spider while I do that, which I'm not sure is a good thing or not, to be honest with you at this point. I just don't know. I do have a lot of strength 7 attacks, but it has those venomous fangs, and I've had bad luck with ordnance wounds in the past. Over here, my Pestilence Warriors charge into the scrap they charged into the side to help out the battle shrine against those pesky Nasher Dashers, and I overrun with my Pestilence Warriors. We win easy. Overrun with my Pestilence Warriors into his scrap wagon there. So, yeah, I know he's looking at my flank with his his Wyvern Lord. But, again, he only has 1 wound left. So I'm like, go in the flank. Take that risk. I will let you. So, top of 4. It shows him charging. He fails his Frenzy Tech, actually, with his Boar Boys that were looking to help out his Goblin Chief over there. And he has to charge my BSB in the flank. And he does lose 1 going through the woods to difficult terrain. So again, I'm like, well, I'm feeling good about that. He does move up his. He does charge the side of my my Pestilence Warriors, and again, I'm not sure what I should feel about that or not. I'm not sure if I should be worried. I'm going to kill the Scrap Wagon easy, but his Wyvern Lord's tough, and I don't know if I can get a wound through or not. So over here, I win the combat. He did move down those spiders to kind of just get some magic off and do some supports. I do kill his spider pretty easily with my Wyvern, my Manticore, I'm sorry, with the D3 wounds. I get one through and do enough wounds to just kill him. So this side's looking pretty good. My Manticore Lord doesn't have any wounds on him, and he's just floating around out there. I wasn't able to get a wound off on his Manticore Lord. I do 3 wounds to the Scrap Wagon. I think I lose combat, actually. But I'm not sure if I stick or not. They fell down the hill. Again, it was a difficult thing. I do charge on my turn. This is top of 5. Oh, it's bottom of 5. I'm sorry. I missed the whole turn there. Well, not much happened. I just did some positioning to get out of the charge arc. And anyway, his Goblin Chief over there is not dead. I don't know why he's knocked over at this point, but he's still alive. I do charge his unit with his wizard in it, the Spider Riders. They flee 11 inches. That's enough to get them off the board. My EDC kind of moves up to join in on the fun over there. He's looking at the board, and he's like, man, I don't have anything left. His general actually will break from combat on this turn. I kill the Scrap Wagon, and his general's running, but I don't catch him. And I do 5 wounds with my magic. This is a magic phase, and I do 5 wounds to his unit on the hill there with my Sorcerer Lord, just with a Thunderbolt, I think. And oh no, I'm sorry. He wins that combat. He does run into my War Shrine there. I'm sorry, that's what happened. It's again, it's been a few days, and there we sit. That's the end of game. My turn. I didn't have anything that could charge him. He was in combat, so I couldn't blow him up. He does kill my War Shrine during his turn. But like I said, on my turn, I didn't have any charges, and I wasn't able to kill him with the spell. And other than that, there was nothing on the board worth fighting over. All he had left was his Goblin Chief, his Orc General, and those 5 unit Boar Boys there. He did have his Catapult still. I don't think it was a massacre victory, simply because he did take out a lot of my stuff. He took out both of my blocks, and he did take out my Battle Shrine as well. But I still had my EDC. I still had my Manticore Lord. I had my Sorcerer Lord. I had all my Harbingers were still in play. So I won on points, luckily. It was a much closer game than last time. My Manticore Lord got really lucky breaking that unit in combat, and that spider of his, man, I just could not chomp through it fast enough. And because it's so fast and it has Strider, I wasn't able to get what I needed to do to block it, unfortunately. And my spells were all focused on that general, getting him down as far and as fast as I could. He did have only 25% of his wounds left on his general, and so I think I got half points for that as well. but it was a fun game. It was a fun game. Finally a victory. It's been a couple games, you know, but again, I'm slowly kind of getting the hang of these guys. Hope you enjoyed the report. I got a couple more lined up for you. I'll get through later in the week. There's a lot of Orcs and Goblins players in my area, and so I'll be playing a lot of Orcs and Goblins. I hope you guys don't mind. A lot of totally different styles of lists. So the next one up I have to report is a very infantry heavy list. While this was cavalry heavy, the next one's very infantry heavy. And then Stanley is actually back for a game with me, which he'll be helping to be an announcer at, if you will, and help me go through the battle report. Hopefully tomorrow, but we'll see. Okay, thanks guys. Subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Big boy.